She looked like a logistics clerk. Small, quiet, out of place among roaring Apaches and grease-stained technicians. So Lead Tech Marcus Reeves mocked her request to inspect the aircraft, laughed, dismissed her. They thought she was paperwork. What they didn't know. She was Ghost Squadron's third pilot, the one declared KIA. Stick around, because when her sleeve rolls up and that insignia catches the light, careers will collapse, protocols will rewrite, and the hangar will never look at authority the same way again. The Ghost is back, and this time, she's here to audit the future. Curious about our global audience? Let us know where you're watching from and what time it is. Remember to subscribe for more content. Lead technician Marcus Reeves drums his fingers against the keyboard, the harsh glow of the classified files casting shadows across his face. 23 years of aircraft maintenance experience tells him something is wrong with Kayla Tran's sudden appearance, and he's determined to prove it. His father's worn wrench, a testament to 3 generations of military aircraft technicians, sits heavily in his pocket. The maintenance bay's familiar sounds, the whir of diagnostic equipment, the metallic clink of tools, usually comfort him. But today, they mock him. Each thump of helicopter blades overhead sends his thoughts spiraling back to Operation Hawkeye. His fingers tremble slightly as he scrolls through redacted files, searching for proof that Ghost Squadron's infamous third pilot couldn't possibly be the same woman now challenging his authority. Ghost 3 status, KIA. The words blur before his eyes. Marcus pulls his father's wrench from his pocket, running his thumb over the worn initials, as he always does when stressed. Dad taught me everything about these birds. 23 years, 0 fatal accidents under my watch. I don't make mistakes. But Kayla Tran's maintenance suggestions haunt him. Her analysis of the Apache B-02's rotor stress patterns matches his private concerns exactly, concerns he's never shared with anyone. The coincidence gnaws at him like acid eating through metal. A notification pops up on his screen. Another maintenance request from her, this one highlighting a subtle irregularity in the fuel injection system he'd noticed last week. His throat tightens. How could she know? The sound of approaching footsteps makes him quickly close the classified files. Chief Warner appears in his office doorway, looking troubled. Marcus, we need to talk about the Ghost Squadron files you've been accessing. Marcus's hand tightens around his father's wrench. Sir, I can explain. It's not just about the files. Warner's voice drops. I've reviewed Tran's previous maintenance records. They're exemplary. And that incident report you filed this morning? 3 other technicians have come forward supporting her assessment. The wrench feels like it's burning through his pocket now. Marcus remembers his father's words. Son, a good technician admits when he's wrong. A great one learns from it. His computer pings again, another detailed analysis from Tran, this time about the very issue that's kept him awake for the past month. The statistical models are perfect, the solutions elegant. His certainty wavers like a destabilized rotor. Have you considered, Warner says carefully, that your response to her might not be about competence at all? The question hits Marcus like a hammer blow. Images flash through his mind. His father teaching him every bolt and wire of their first helicopter. The pride in being part of an exclusive brotherhood of military maintenance crews. The comfortable certainty of being the unquestioned authority in his bay. A helicopter lands outside, its downdraft rattling the office windows. Marcus pulls up his own maintenance records, comparing them side by side with Tran's suggestions. The evidence is undeniable. She's not just good. She's exceptional. His father's wrench catches the computer's glow, and for the first time, Marcus sees his reflection in its polished surface. Really sees it. The face looking back isn't the confident lead technician he thought he was. It's the face of a man holding on to something that's slipping away. Type "truth hurts" if you've ever had to face your own prejudices, flashes across his mind, a truth he's not ready to face. Another notification. Tran's latest report is gaining support among the junior technicians. His empire of absolute authority is cracking. One precise observation at a time. The helicopter blades wind down outside, their decreasing whine matching the dying certainty in Marcus's chest. He's built his reputation on being infallible, but each line of Tran's analysis chips away at that foundation. The maintenance bay he's ruled for 15 years suddenly feels foreign, like a tool he no longer knows how to use. Marcus Reeves, lead technician and son of a legendary maintenance chief, sits in his darkening office, his father's wrench cold in his hand, facing a truth he never expected. Sometimes expertise wears a face you're not prepared to recognize. Lead technician Marcus Reeves stares at the empty hangar where Apache B-02 once stood, his father's worn wrench heavy in his trembling hands. The tool that once symbolized his inherited authority now weighs him down with the burden of understanding. The morning sun streams through the hangar doors, catching on the dust motes where Kayla Tran's workstation used to be, now cleared and pristine. "I was wrong," he whispers to the empty space, his voice echoing off the steel walls. "So desperately wrong." The admission tastes bitter, yet somehow cleansing, like medicine long overdue. The viral video of his public confrontation with Kayla plays on his phone, #Reeves falls still trending after 24 hours. In it, his face is contorted with arrogance, sneering at her credentials. Now, watching it again, he sees what everyone else saw. Not a defender of standards, but a man desperately clinging to outdated prejudices. The maintenance bay doors whoosh open behind him. Colonel Bennett enters, her footsteps precise and measured. "Lead Technician Reeves," she says, emphasizing his soon-to-be former title, "the board has reviewed Ms. Tran's comprehensive safety audit." Marcus Reeves's fingers trace the grooves in his father's wrench one last time. "I know what they found," he says, his voice barely steady. "Every shortcut I defended, every inspection I rushed, all documented in her files. Drop a 1 in the comments if you've ever had to admit you were completely wrong." Appears as text overlay, as Reeves turns to face his superior. The colonel's next words cut through the air like rotor blades. "She predicted the exact failure point in the Harrison crash. If we'd listened sooner—" "3 pilots," Marcus Reeves whispers, the weight of it crushing his chest. "3 pilots could have been saved if I hadn't—" He can't finish the sentence. The ghost of every dismissed suggestion, every mockingly rejected improvement haunts the hangar. His father's wrench catches the light, the same tool that had given him such confidence, such certainty in his inherited position. "Your father was a great mechanic, Marcus Reeves," the colonel says, softer now. "But even he would have adapted to new techniques, new perspectives. Ms. Tran's protocols are being implemented across every military maintenance facility in the country." The final blow comes as she hands him a tablet. On it, a live stream shows Kayla Tran testifying before Congress about maintenance safety standards. The comment section floods with #Tran transforms and "safety first." "Share this moment if you believe in redemption through truth," flashes across the screen as Marcus Reeves places his father's wrench in a display case, alongside Kayla's framed Ghost Squadron insignia and her comprehensive safety manual. "The greatest expertise," Marcus Reeves says to the camera, his voice thick with emotion, doesn't announce itself with swagger or authority. It proves itself in silent dedication, in meticulous care, in lives saved rather than pride preserved. He touches the glass of the display case one last time. I thought I was protecting a legacy. Instead, I was standing in the way of progress. To every Kaylatran out there, I'm sorry, we're listening now. The hangar fills with the sound of an Apache landing, one maintained under Kayla's new protocols. Its rotors spin down smoothly, perfectly, safely. In the reflection of the display case, Marcus Reeves sees not just his past, but the future he nearly prevented. Type transform if you believe change starts with admitting our mistakes, appears as the final overlay, while Marcus Reeves turns away from his father's wrench, leaving behind the weight of inherited prejudice and walking toward a transformed future. The sun sets on the hangar, but across the country, maintenance bays are lighting up with new standards, new voices, new expertise. And somewhere, a pilot sleeps easier, knowing their aircraft has been maintained not by tradition alone, but by excellence unrestricted by prejudice. The maintenance bay's fluorescent lights cast harsh shadows as lead technician Marcus Reeves straightened his perfectly pressed uniform, his polished Chief Technical Officer badge catching the glare. The small woman before him seemed almost lost among the towering Apache helicopters, making her audacious request all the more laughable. "A logistics clerk wanting to work on my Apache Bezo 2? Marcus Reeves's voice carried across the hangar, drawing snickers from his maintenance crew. "I've spent 15 years building this team's reputation. We don't let just anyone touch our birds." His fingers instinctively traced the edge of his badge, savoring its cold, metallic authority. The woman, Kayla something, stood motionless, her silence only fueling Marcus Reeves's satisfaction. He stepped closer, deliberately invading her space, towering over her slight frame. "Listen carefully. These machines require expert hands, real mechanics, not paper pushers playing pretend." More laughter echoed through the bay. Marcus Reeves smiled, relishing the familiar rush of control. "Why don't you go back to your spreadsheets? Leave the real work to professionals who've earned their place here." Then she moved. One fluid motion, rolling up her sleeve. Marcus Reeves's words died in his throat as the Ghost Squadron insignia caught the light. His mind raced. Ghost Squadron, the elite combat pilot unit, their maintenance standards legendary. A cold weight settled in his stomach. Someone's phone camera clicked. Then another. His crew's laughter had died, replaced by a heavy silence that pressed against his ears. Through the hangar's windows, he could see people gathering, phones raised. "Chief Technical Officer Reeves," a sharp voice cut through the silence. Colonel Richards emerged from behind an Apache, his face unreadable. "I see you've met Captain Tran. She'll be conducting our maintenance audit this quarter." Marcus Reeves's badge suddenly felt heavy against his chest. He watched helplessly as #GhostReturns began trending on the base's internal social network, his confrontation already spreading through military channels. Standing alone now, Marcus Reeves gripped his badge, its familiar weight no longer reassuring. For 15 years, this hangar had been his kingdom. But as he watched Captain Tran discussing technical specifications with his formerly loyal crew, a question echoed in his mind. How long can a king rule when his crown begins to crack? In the privacy of his office later, Marcus Reeves stared at his reflection in the badge's surface, remembering his mentor's words from decades ago. "Authority isn't just about rank, boy. It's about respect." But as notifications about #GhostReturns lit up his phone, he wondered if he'd confused fear with respect all along. Will his carefully constructed empire survive this challenge from someone he so gravely underestimated? As the base buzzes with the day's events, Marcus Reeves feels the first tremors in his foundation of power, unaware that his greatest test is yet to come. Marcus Reeves's fingers trembled as he reviewed the maintenance logs for the third time that evening. The pristine documentation, the elegant fail-safes, the seamless integration of Ghost Squadron protocols, it was all there, mocking his earlier arrogance. Through the control room window, he watched Kayla Tran's silhouette moving with practiced precision around Apache BZO-2, her expertise evident in every gesture. The warning klaxon test pierced the evening air, but instead of the usual harsh blare, it resonated with a clean, professional tone that made Marcus Reeves flinch. This wasn't just different. It was better. Significantly better. He reached for his father's wrench, the one he'd wielded so proudly during his mockery of Kayla, but his hand stopped short. The polished metal seemed to accuse him now. "Sir, you need to see these numbers." Technician Chen's voice carried an edge of awe as she handed him the latest safety report. Accident rates are down 47% since the Ghost Squadron protocols were implemented. And that's just in 3 days. Marcus Reeves felt his chest tighten as he scanned the data. Every metric, every benchmark he'd used to justify his authority was being systematically dismantled by the very person he'd tried to humiliate. The maintenance crews were already calling it the Tran Standard, a phrase that made his ears burn with shame. His phone buzzed incessantly with notifications from the base's internal messaging system. Habscript Ghost Protocols was trending among the maintenance staff, with video clips of the improved systems being shared across departments. One particular comment struck deep. "Remember when Lead Tech Reeves said Ghost Squadron methods wouldn't work here? Timestamps don't lie." The security footage played on his monitor, showing Kayla working through the night. Her movements were precise, efficient, everything he'd claimed she wasn't. Each protocol she implemented was a silent rebuke to his prejudice. The worst part wasn't the evidence of her expertise. It was watching his own team gradually gravitate toward her leadership, seeking her guidance while avoiding his gaze. "Have you ever watched your kingdom crumble from the inside?" Marcus Reeves whispered to himself, gripping the edge of his desk. "Have you seen your power dissolve not through force, but through pure, undeniable competence?" The maintenance bay door opened, and Kayla entered the control room, datapad in hand. She didn't acknowledge him, didn't need to. The logs spoke for themselves. Response times cut in half, maintenance efficiency up by 60%, 0 safety incidents since implementation. Marcus Reeves watched her update the system, each keystroke another brick pulled from the foundation of his authority. His father's wrench caught the fluorescent light, and Marcus Reeves saw his reflection distorted in its surface. The man who'd proudly declared, "This is how we've always done it," now seemed small, diminished by the evidence of progress happening despite his resistance. The night shift was arriving, and he overheard them discussing the new protocols with enthusiasm. "Ghost Squadron methods are revolutionary," one said. "Can't believe we didn't implement these years ago." Each word was another crack in Marcus Reeves's carefully constructed world. The base commander's email arrived like a thunderbolt. "Full review of maintenance leadership scheduled for 0800 tomorrow. All safety protocols and personnel decisions under evaluation." Marcus Reeves's hands grew cold as he realized tomorrow would be the day of reckoning. Share this video if you've ever witnessed someone's expertise shine through prejudice. Type "Ghost" if you believe in breaking down barriers. The klaxon sounded one final time that evening, its improved tone a reminder of everything Marcus Reeves had fought against, and everything he was about to lose. In the reflection of his darkened monitor, he saw what everyone else already knew. He wasn't just wrong, he was obsolete. Lead Technician Marcus Reeves stands rigidly at attention in Commander Harrison's office, sweat beading on his forehead as the security footage plays on the wall screen. His fingers unconsciously trace the polished wrench at his belt, his father's prized possession, now feeling heavier than ever before. "Explain these unauthorized protocol modifications, Reeves," Commander Harrison's voice cuts through the air. Marcus's stomach churns as he watches himself on screen, his previous arrogance on full display as he'd dismissed Kayla's suggestions weeks ago. The footage transitions to maintenance logs, showing a stark improvement in safety metrics. The familiar hum of a perfectly calibrated Apache engine fills the room from another video clip, the sweet spot of harmonics that he'd always prided himself on achieving. But this calibration is even better than his best work. "Sir, I have to admit something," Marcus's voice cracks, his previously ironclad certainty crumbling. "The improvements you're seeing, they're from protocols developed by former Ghost Squadron pilot Kayla Tran." A collective gasp echoes through the room. Marcus realizes with horror that the base's internal feed is broadcasting this meeting live. Dozens, maybe hundreds of his colleagues are watching his confession in real time. "The same Kayla Tran you publicly refused to allow near the Apache B-02. The commander's words strike like physical blows. Marcus grips his father's wrench tighter, remembering his dad's words about pride coming before a fall. "Yes, sir. I let my prejudices cloud my judgment. I was wrong." His phone buzzes. Maintenance. Hero is trending on the base's internal social network, but not for him. Videos of Kayla's brilliant work are being shared by technicians across departments. "She developed a breakthrough calibration sequence that reduced wear by 23%, Marcus continues, each word painful but necessary. "While I was busy protecting my territory, she was actually protecting our pilots." The perfect engine harmony still plays in the background, a haunting reminder of his hubris. Marcus unpins his lead technician badge, placing it on the commander's desk. "I recommend Kayla Tran for the lead position, sir. She's earned it." As he steps back, Marcus catches his reflection in the office window, no longer the untouchable maintenance king, but a man facing his own failures. His father's wrench gleams at his belt, its shine now feeling less like pride and more like a mirror, forcing him to see his true self. Type "humble" if you've ever had to admit you were wrong, appears on screens across the base as the footage continues streaming. Marcus walks out of the office into a corridor of silent colleagues, their eyes following his every move. His empire of technical superiority has crumbled, but somehow he stands straighter than ever before. This isn't an ending, it's a beginning of something better, something honest. His phone keeps buzzing as #maintenancehero continues trending. Each notification a reminder that true leadership means admitting when you're wrong and making it right. The perfect engine calibration echoes through the halls, no longer his symphony, but a melody of change.